All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning into When Coffee Meets Tea, the podcast. I'm Rob Gerard.
I'm Denise Bertolovitz.
Denise, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really well, actually. I love
So I like how you corrected yourself. First you said good, then you're like, no, well.
I'm doing really. I know, so proper,
You
right?
know what? That was something I don't think I learned until I was in my 20s. I remember saying,
Really?
yeah, I swear. I remember always just saying good. And then I actually had a coworker who was like 10 years older than me, but we always used to like break stones. And he would be like, no, you're doing well. And like it just always stuck with me.
Oh, he was one of those though.
Yeah.
So I graduated from Ridgefield High School, and English was huge. That was like back in the day when we wrote with chalk and stone.
With a chisel,
with
with
a
a chisel
chisel.
and boulders, like
But I
Flintstone
am
newspapers.
very pleased with that, except for grammar. I have to say, I do occasionally have some friends that I'll write a quote and they're like, "Yeah, you might want to put the apostrophe there, maybe not do
Oh,
that." And I'm like, "Guys, you're killing me." But you know what? Hey, we can't be perfect. That's what
yeah.
that's what you know what? I'm job security for an editor.
There you go. I
That's exactly
love
what it
that.
is.
I love that. You know what? Any kind of shortcoming, I feel like we have, no matter what it is, you could always be like, listen, I'm job security for a therapist. So,
Right? It's
oh,
like, okay, and I'm job security for the cleaning lady too.
there you go. There you go. Yeah. I'm job security for the gyms and the fitness centers. Are you kidding
There
me?
you
You know?
go.
Yeah. So today we're going to be jumping into talking about self-care, and self-care is something that I know you and I discussed the topic just briefly during the week. Really, all we said was let's talk about self-care, and then that was it. And I know, like we've talked about in previous episodes, we basically just kind of give each other a topic and then let each other do our own homework. And so when I say self-care, what's the first thing that you think of, Denise?
Oh, for me personally, a hot bath. Like bubble
Mm.
bath, chilling out, candles, relaxing, totally just about my time. And that's the one thing too I want to point out is I love this particular topic that we had picked
Yeah.
because some people really don't understand what is self-care, and I want to throw in there self-love, right?
Mm.
What is self-care? We will
Yeah.
focus on that, but then what is self-love and what is the difference between the two? So this is like my little thing I'm going to throw out to you,
Okay.
and I'm probably going to make you laugh,
Yeah.
but self-love is I love my smile, whether
Mm.
it be straight teeth, crooked teeth, whatever it is. I love that part of me. I love all the flaws. I am flawsome,
Well,
right?
flawsome.
I am
I've
flawsome.
never even
I'm
heard that
flawsome.
before.
And self-care is taking the time to brush your teeth for 2 minutes twice a day,
Love
every
it.
day.
Love it.
So self-love is I love me for who I am. I'm flawsome, flaws and all.
Mm.
And self-love is the action behind what you do
Wow.
to make yourself feel better.
You are
So
dropping bars today.
I got,
Like you are killing it
just
right
getting
now.
into it.
You are killing it. So I totally agree with what you're saying. I think that's great. And I think when it comes to loving yourself, man, that is difficult. That is difficult because there is not a single person I feel like I've ever spoken with that said I loved myself as a teenager. As a teenager, I was
Mm,
completely confident. I was completely this, that, and the third. Like, so at some point or another, and usually I use teen years because usually, it can happen around there. But I don't know anyone that's ever felt fully confident and secure in their own skin.
oh my gosh, at several points in our lives, we can lose that capability to have self-love, and not just we losing it from a situation or something that could occur, but also people can impact that. And I want to say one thing that is so important. I wish that they would have self-love courses in high school. I
Wow.
just I
Oh
just
my, you
think
are blowing my mind right
it
now.
would be phenomenal because
Wow.
that is one of the things, like I always used to say when I was younger, here I am, I have no children, but I always wanted to have like 8 kids, and I always used to say that I'm going to teach them self-love, how to love themselves, because that is so important. We teach our children, we teach other people how to treat us, we teach love, but we forget sometimes to love ourselves. And here's the thing behind that and why I would love to see that as a curriculum.
Wow.
It's because self-love is our power. Self-love is our ability to walk away from things that don't serve us. Self-love is our self-confidence. Self-love is our self-esteem. Self-love is the power to love yourself enough to know that you deserve better, or that you deserve to accomplish your dreams and you don't want to quit on your college or whatever it takes. You know, some people choose not to go to college and have different dreams, and that's fine, but you're never going to quit what it is you're doing because you love yourself enough to know that you're worthy of accomplishing that dream.
And I mean, well said. I don't think I could have worded it any better. When it comes to self-love, I think that a lot of times we can struggle with what we think self-love is and what it's actually not. So self-love in a way can be, you know what, not being afraid to splurge on yourself, right? Splurging on yourself. However, quite the opposite of self-love would be having a shopping addiction and using that shopping to feel good about yourself in brief moments of like many, many, many Amazon purchases, and now your light bill is a month behind past due because of all your purchases. So now it's almost like a self-defeating behavior. So balance, I feel like, and I know it's something we talk about a lot, but balance is so key with self-love. So
Huge.
how would you recommend that people truly find that balance?
You know, it's interesting you said that too, because that's self-sabotage, what you were talking about. Because and it's an excuse, right? A lot of people are just like, well, I love myself, so I'm going to go eat a gallon of ice cream. Well, I love myself, so I'm going to go and, you know, spend the money that I don't have, but it's okay because I love myself. That's not loving yourself in the long term.
And I've been guilty of both those things.
Oh, me too.
I've
Absolutely.
been guilty of both
but
those
hey,
things.
live and learn. And the what do they say? Like, an intelligent person never makes the same mistake twice. Three times four. Okay, we all make mistakes. Maybe but you know, eventually we learn. And
let's talk
and
about
that's
your
life,
dating history,
right?
Denise.
I don't have a dating history. I haven't dated in like, holy cow, I mean, 21 months, 22 months.
Now, let
and
me
that's
ask
not
you,
because of COVID.
for your self-love, let me ask you, for your self-love, is that something that is self-love for you, or do you feel like you are truly ready to get back in the game?
No, that's self-love for me. So it's interesting you said that, because you were talking about balance. So you asked me, and I apologize, I didn't answer your question
No, it's all
before
good.
about balance. So we talk about balance.
Don't get off the subject of your
I'm
dating.
not. I'm going to go right into it.
Love
I hate
it.
when he talks about
Love
this,
it.
though,
Love
because
it.
he's always trying to pawn me off, I swear. If Rob had, like, if he could create a dowry and sell me, he would, like, dower me off. Like, you know, you would be like, here's a couple camels.
Well, I
for
think
Denise.
I think that's because it's because you're an amazing catch, though, and sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I wonder, like, you know, how you meet some people out there, and you know, I've been with my wife now 14 years. I cannot picture being single anymore. And then I meet some people, and they're like, I love being single. I truly cannot picture being in a relationship. So it's weird how it's like self-love look and balance looks different to everyone, but at the same time, how do we know when it's self-love or if it's isolation, say?
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so the balance.
Yes.
This is how you achieve balance, knowing the difference between self-care, self-love, and knowing how to equally distribute your love throughout the day. So basically, at the end of the day, balance comes from making time for yourself.
Wow.
Don't forget you. And that answers your question from before.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring it back to me, because
Yeah,
I know you're going to get on the dating
Absolutely.
thing. So
Yep.
for me as a woman, I want to be alone because I need to heal. There's a lot of things, like, you know, and this is a whole different topic, so I don't want, and the reason why I'm kind of umming and stopping is because this is such a great topic, and I would love to have a deeper conversation with you and have a show on this, because I think that a lot of people jump from relationship to relationship without taking time to get to know themselves. And at the end of the day, how are you going to choose the right person for you if you don't know who you are and what you really want?
Well, the word I'm thinking
So,
of is codependency, right?
absolutely, absolutely codependency. Stopping to say, hey, do I really want to jump into something? And I am the person who does enjoy being single, and I'll tell you why. I do enjoy balancing my time, being able to have,
Well,
I
you're very
guess,
family oriented.
very family
Yeah.
oriented. I am very family first. I laugh maybe sometimes to a fault, but
I love how close you are with your family, by the way. Your
thank
brother, your
you.
mother. It is amazing to watch. And, I truly appreciate what I have. I know I have a totally different
Thank you.
situation. I'm married, I have a daughter. But I look at you and your family and I say, wow, I wish I was that close with my mom and my brother like that.
Thank you.
Seriously, it's
Thank you.
unbelievable.
Well, you know the old saying, though, you never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Yes.
We have our battles, trust me. But to your point, but see, this goes back to another great part of relationships, which is relationships will last if we choose to commit and we choose to never give up, right? Because again, know thyself, and then you're going to know who's going to work for you. So, for example, I have a lot of independence. So, if I get into a relationship with somebody who doesn't appreciate that and isn't a person who wants to be with a woman who has more
That
independence.
can be intimidating for a man.
Yes, I've been told that before. Yes, definitely. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Then they're not the one for me. And then I'm going to wait for the right one. And I don't online date. I don't
Not
have
that there's anything wrong with that.
not no, no, not at all. That's just not something that I would like to do. I feel like for me, organic growth, organic love, organic, just when the time is right. I really do believe that life will bring you what you need when you're ready.
Well,
And
yeah.
I'm just not a seeker like for that. I'm a seeker of adventure. I'm a seeker of experience. I'm a seeker of career. I don't seek love because I practice self-love on myself.
Mm.
And again, doesn't make me better or different than anyone. It's just that I would choose to slow down and say, hey, you know what? I'm really sad that didn't work out. What am I going to do to love myself now to move on in life to wherever it is that I need to be, where life
Wow.
is going to take me?
Yeah.
So, and it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of strength, and it's scary being alone nowadays. I have to tell you something. I've never been afraid to be alone, but lately I it's not a fear of being alone in the sense of lonely. It's everything that's going on in the world. It's like,
Mm.
oh, wow, yeah, I'm alone. Okay, I know I'm tough and I know I can do this and that, and
You're one
definitely I
tough
can
mutter.
make it. I'm one tough mutter. And but then I think, wow, wouldn't it be nice to have someone at the end of the day that I can have a team, have that person, but that'll come. But we'll
Yeah.
we'll talk about that another day.
Of
Say, okay,
course.
get me off on that dating
Yeah,
tangent.
yeah, yeah. No, definitely. So your self-love, it sounds like, comes with a lot of self-love and saying, you
Yep.
know what, I don't feel like I want to or need to look to someone else to for that kind of reassurance.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because I do love how you segue dating in here, even though I'm like the
And you
the
did not
picker
know I
of
was
the
going to bring up
topic.
dating. You did not know
He's
I was
like,
going
I'm
to.
targeting you, but hey, who else to? And I'm okay with that, because what I say hopefully will help someone and give them courage. At the end of the day, I think about the self love, right? And you're talking about how the self love, and I think, okay, well, when I go out of a relationship,
Mm,
I historically I've taken time, but I've taken time to self-care rather than self-love.
yeah.
So in the past, I have, like, even after my divorce, it was more about self-care. It was working out, it was taking a hot bath, it was having my time again, developing myself. Whereas now, I have to say I've matured so much and I'm very proud of myself, and all of us men and women, thank you, should be very proud of themselves, because now it's about self love in this way. What did I do wrong in that relationship
Mm,
that I can do better? Maybe I wasn't. You know what? Nobody's perfect. And you know what? Maybe I am to blame for certain things. And that's okay, because you know what? I'm not going to do that again. But I'm going to love myself for all those mistakes. And I'm going to be flawsome and move on. And when the right time comes, the right relationship will be there for me,
wow.
right?
Yeah.
So it's just about reflecting on that self love and accepting everything about us.
So it sounds like self care has to be taken care of if you want to get onto that self love thing. Because there's levels to this, right? There's levels. There's
Yeah.
self
Yep.
care, self love, and yeah, I think when it comes to my self care, I feel like all my needs are absolutely taken care of. And when I think of self care, I think of, okay, am I doing harm to myself in any kind of way? And in most areas, I don't think I'm doing any harm to myself. And when it comes to
Mm.
self love, I mean, last episode we had talked about mental energy, and I tell you, the few things I am putting my mental energy into are my family, with
Mm.
my
Mm-hmm.
daughter, my wife. So my family, my career, the podcast is included in the career,
Yep.
and then finances. I am truly, and I know this is something that you and I have talked about before. I am truly holding to a high standard personal finance and personal
Mm-hmm.
independence, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean wealth, I mean security. I
Yeah.
want to be
Yep.
secure. I want my family to be secure for future generations based on the decisions and the actions I'm taking today. And to me, that's self-love, because that helps me sleep better at night.
Absolutely. And as you're speaking of family, I'm thinking about you. How can you love other people if you don't first love yourself? And
Mm,
you could do all the self care in the world.
yeah.
You can cut your hair, you can go tanning, you can do this, you can do that, you can eat right. But if you are not taking that time to accept all of those things that are good and bad and everything about yourself and loving yourself for who you are, then how are you truly going to love someone else? So I love that you said that, because you love your family more when you love yourself more,
Yeah.
right? And you can't do self-care if you don't love yourself. How if you can't take the time to love yourself, and how are you going to take the time to self-care?
Yeah.
Like there's an imbalance there. I almost feel like too much self-care without self-love can be vanity,
Mm,
right? It can almost be, well, I'm so into myself, but I don't really love myself.
yeah.
I just want to look good, but I don't love myself because I'm working so hard to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm working so hard to be something that I really am not comfortable with, just being myself. Like you're putting all your energy into that rather than saying, okay, I'm just going to be comfortable. I'm going to self love and then doing the self care.
Mm.
So nice balance between the two: self love, self care, balance.
So, and when I think of self-love, I think of the three, or the few major things, which are, emotional, mental, physical. And as far as emotional and mental, I feel very strong in that. I feel like I am continuing to love myself and do those kind of things. The physical, that's definitely something that I am continuing to try to work on and try to make sure that I'm treating my body like women say as a temple. I
Oh,
only get one
absolutely.
body. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to return this thing at the end of the day all banged up. I'm trying to, I have the
Yeah.
insurance policy. I'm driving the right speed. I'm trying to make sure I'm maintaining myself, and that's something that I've, always put on the back burner because I'm so involved in family, so involved in career. But that's where that word balance comes
I
in.
know, right? And as you're saying that, I'm over here like, Rob, you're a dad. You're a dad. And you know what? As a dad and as a parent, and again, this is my opinion, but you want to be an example, but you also
Mm,
want to be there for your
I
child. It's
know.
so great. Like, I love that financially people are preparing their children for a better future.
Love it.
But you know what? There's a balance there too.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, everyone, moms, dads. Even myself, I'm not a mom, but I want to take care of myself because I have little cousins, and I have people that depend on me, and I take care of them. I'm a caregiver.
Yeah.
So it's important to put yourself
Yeah.
first so that you live a long, healthy, quality life.
Mm.
Quality, because it's not about quantity. It's not about how much we're working so hard to have money in the bank. It's about the quality of life that we have, that we can give to ourselves and to others,
Oh, I love it.
right?
So I guess when it comes to self love, if I was to do, and time is almost up, we're flying through this. I feel like we could talk about this for days.
Mm.
So when it comes to self love, are we taking care of ourselves emotionally, mentally, and physically? And I think that we're all our pies might all look a little different as far as, no one's going to be perfect, a third, a third, a third.
Mm.
But if we are, balanced as well as we can be, I think that is the right way to do it. And that's a really good starting point at the very least, emotionally, mentally, physically,
Mm.
and am I practicing self-love?
Yes, and you know what? And to highlight before it, I was saying self love is our power. It is our power to pick and choose the situations that are healthy for us and to get out of the situations that are not healthy for us.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I will tell you this as a woman, and I've noticed this significantly in like gym type of, and even for a man, like I shouldn't gender phrase this because this
Yeah.
goes for anyone. When you self love yourself is when your change begins.
Mm.
So, a lot of times people are struggling toward making those changes and they're not getting to the gym, let's say, and they're not losing the weight or they're not getting the muscle mass or eating right because there's a lack of self-love and worthiness. Once we all get that love of ourselves, that's when the change really really occurs in our life. That's when the change happens and we grow and we become healthier, stronger, and things start happening for us because you know why? We don't deflect them. When you think that you don't love yourself enough, we sabotage ourselves. And I am the first to say I have so many stories in my life that I got to a certain point and I was like, boom, sabotage.
Mm.
Oh, you can't be happy. My mind was working against me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be happy. Why should you be happy? That little voice in our head. But when you love yourself enough, that's your power. That voice, boom, goes off. That voice turns off, and now you say, you know what? Keep going. You love
Well,
yourself, and you're going to do it. You deserve this happiness.
I think that people that, and I'll speak for myself because I've definitely done a little bit of self-sabotaging in my day. That's to say the least. I think when we think that we don't deserve happiness or we don't deserve enough, part of that is thinking, okay, the the floor is going to drop out from under me anyways, so I might as well exercise a little bit of the little bit of control I have left, and I might as well do
Mm,
it to myself
yeah.
because I don't want disaster to happen on someone else's terms. If anything, I'd rather have
Mhm.
disaster happen on my own terms.
Oh, thank you, Rob, for talking about my past. Me. I will tell you hey, learn, live and learn, right? And that is exactly what it is. It's like that control of, well, this is going to happen anyway, so I might as well just leave.
Yeah,
Or this is horrible and the brain can just be our worst enemy. So again, self-love and just saying, hey, control those thoughts and turn them from what you just said. Those are negative thoughts.
yeah,
Right. And again, self love is going to bring you positivity. Self love and saying I accept and I love myself for who I am is going to bring me joy.
yeah. And I think wrapping up, I would say that part of our self-love, yours and mine, I'll take the liberty and speak for you, is doing this podcast because this is something that we have a passion for and a
Mm.
passion about, and we know that we'll be able to look back on this years from now, and listen to it and be like, wow, I actually sounded like I knew what I was talking about there for a minute. You know what I mean?
Or wow, I stopped being late.
Wow, imagine that.
Wow.
Don't get too ahead of ourselves. All right. So, guys, with that being said, thank you very much for tuning in to When Coffee Meets Tea. Thank you very much to
Cheers.
Candlewood Coffee.
Candlewood coffee.
Candlewood Coffee. You could check out our tea, Denise's Upbeat Positivity. That's for sale. She has a great blend. You could check out Robbie's Roast. If you're not sure where to get that, you can just go to our Instagram. We have all of our links there, whether if it's our website, how to buy the coffee, this, that, and the third. Check out Denise on Ladybug Living Life Coach
Yes.
on
Yeah.
Instagram, and you could check me out at Gerard Counseling. And that's it. Thank you, everyone, for continuing to tune
Thank
in
you.
and continuing to listen. We're on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all that good stuff.
We love all of our listeners, and I myself I'll speak for myself, but I'm so pleased to have so many nice women reaching out to me and having
Right?
such great conversations. So I want to give the love back as much as I'm getting the love. So thank you so much. And when you're talking about the upbeat tea, as you said, upbeat, I'm
Mm.
thinking, you know what, to kind of like deviate over this way, I'm gonna make a dance up for that.
Are
We
you?
need like an upbeat dance.
I could see it. I could totally see it. Listen,
Right?
because I saw Denise dancing at a wedding a couple weeks ago. She's still doing the Macarena. I have
Oh
no
my
idea what
God.
that's
Are
about.
you kidding me?
She's still just that's her
Do
go-to
you know what? I
move.
still to this day do not even know how I was a cheerleader in high school and college. How did this even happen? Because I can't even like.
Well, you went
No,
to
I'm
you went
like-
to a high school with 100 students, and
Oh, this is true.
you know, so
Oh,
there was
so what are
only
you saying?
two
Slim
cheerleaders.
Pickens?
Exactly. There you go. All right, guys. So thank you very much for listening to When Coffee Meets Tea. I'm Rob Gerard.
I'm Denise Bertolovitz.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye bye.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can check out other episodes of our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts are streamed. Find us on Instagram at When Coffee Meets Tea Podcast or www.whencoffeemeetstea.com. Rob and Denise want to thank the listeners.